John. All right.
Good evening. It's July 5th, 2025, and it's my distinct pleasure and honor to be speaking with the humble hero.
Oh boy.
Humble hero from World War II. It's Saturday, Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing, Mr. Jeckovich?
Very good, thank you.
You're looking quite well.
Yeah.
Did you have a nice dinner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of food.
How was your 4th of July?
Good.
You had a beautiful couple days, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're feeling pretty good? You're chipper? You're looking good? Yeah. You got it made, boy. You got it made. So let's see, Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yeah, he does. We got a lot of reading to do. We got text to catch up on. I mean, we're really backed up. Mr. Jeckovich said recently he blinked his eyes at 20 years old, and he said now he's 100. Where'd the 80 years go?
Yeah, where did they go? Yeah.
Father time waits for no one. You'll never, ever beat Father Time. You might think you will. You might think you're on the top of the world at 40, but you have less than a 5% chance to make it to 100 years old like Mr. Jeckovich. Less than a 5% chance. Wow. That's really amazing. Mr. Jeckovich reads 3 newspapers every morning, including the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and local, with no glasses. No glasses at all. He could shake your hand, the power, he could knock you to the ground. Yeah. He wrote this beautiful book, beautiful big book, 849 pages, and it shares beautiful information for the younger generation to read and understand, to help to give them a simpler and better, and the key word is wholesome life. We discussed many things over the last couple years of the book, and one of the things that stands out the most is many people today don't have empathy, right?
Yeah.
Many people today don't have empathy. Empathy is the glue to civilization. Empathy is the glue to humanity. Without empathy, you're dead. Without empathy, you're dead. Mr. Jeckovich, when he was drafted at 19 years old, he did so selflessly. He just went. They told him to go, and he did. He had nothing in common with the people in Europe. They were total strangers to him. But he went and he fought. And without Mr. Jeckovich and millions of other frontline fighters, we'd probably be a communistic country, or we'd be speaking Japanese and German. These guys, I don't know how we could thank them, but they did a wonderful job. They sure did. They sure did. Now we're at the crossroads. We haven't did much reading lately. We're the 2nd time around in your book. It's at chapter 7, Overseas and Beyond, page 177. Do you want me to read a few pages, or you want me to try to give you a couple of text messages?
No, I'll read a few pages. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll need your dog tag number.
42965.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich's dog tag number is the code, the passcode, that opens up our laptop. We're at chapter 7, 177, 2nd time around, and this is when Mr. Jeckovich finally got off the troop ship, and he landed in Wales, Haverford West, and he has a little bit more training to do before he gets sent to the front line. Well, how was that troop ship?
It was a limey ship.
Yeah. And how was the food?
Well, they had jacked up 3, 4, 5 high. Food was greasy, learning food, English food.
And how was the sleeping conditions?
Well, we're all jammed up, 3, 5, 4, 5 high.
The guy in the top then, how high was he from the ceiling?
Probably touched the nose.
Yeah. So that was a long ride.
Yeah.
Did you spend most of your time up on deck?
I spent it all on the deck, yeah.
And what did you do?
I brought my overcoat, my full jacket up there and slept out there.
Did you read?
Huh?
Did you read?
No, couldn't read there, no.
Yeah, wow. Was this ship, this troop ship with 20 to 30,000 American fighters, was that vulnerable to be bombed from the Germans?
The what?
Was that troop ship filled with 20 to 30,000 American soldiers, was that troop ship vulnerable to being bombed?
Oh,
or was
yeah.
it well protected?
Well, they had good convoy on it. They had a good.
How big was the convoy?
Huh?
How big was the convoy?
Probably 40, 50 ships.
And they were all around this?
Yeah, it was scattered all over, yeah.
So by time a Nazi plane wanted to do damage to your troop ship, they were probably picked up by the
Well, the Air Force would be in
miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that'd be a perfect target to kill 20 or 30,000 Americans in one shot. So they was protected very well.
Yeah.
When you end it, finally, after a long journey in this troop ship, when you finally got to land in Wales, how did it feel?
You had to get your sea legs back.
How do you get your what?
Huh?
What did you have to get back?
My sea legs.
Yeah, so how did it feel?
I feel better, but once you get on land.
Did you have fresh air?
Oh, yeah.
You had beautiful fresh air. And how was the food?
Well, the food was, we were on our own troops.
I meant back.
Mess hall was our troops.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm speaking of. When you went from the limey food, which was greasy, to the American food, was it a major
Oh,
improvement?
yeah, the cooks were good.
Yeah.
The army cooks.
Yeah. So now we're on page 177. We got the idea. It's getting off to troop ship, 19 years old. The only non-coms about were Fink. How was Fink?
Who?
Fink.
Fink.
Yeah, how was he?
Fink, you mean?
How was Fink?
Fink.
F-I-N-K-E. Fink.
Yeah.
Non-com. How was he? A good guy?
Yeah, he's a good guy, yeah.
And Sergeant Rupert. How was Rupert?
Well, Rupert was old. He didn't go anywhere.
Okay. Who was cheerfully cajoling everyone about the good deal we had fallen into. After we formed up in some kind of formation, we were giving a right face, and we proceeded to march down the cobblestone streets for the 2.5s, with the 2.5s brought us up. So the streets are very narrow.
Oh, yeah. They're all for...
Cobblestone, yeah.
Yeah.
Made for what?
For horses.
Yeah. As we marched down the steep grade, the quaint wooden sign that was Milford Road, we were getting our first glimpse of the town we're staying in. It was a quaint agricultural town. Wasn't most of Haverford West agricultural?
Oh, yeah, it's all farm, yeah.
It was a quaint agricultural town dating back to the Normans, with its cobblestone pavements and small, neatly placed cottages squeezed tightly together, almost forming one unattached structure. Each cottage had its own two-step entrance and a short stone stoop. We noticed several women out already, scrubbing the stoops and polishing the brass on the front doors. So the ladies in Wales had a great pride of ownership.
Yeah.
They were taking care of what little they had.
Yeah.
How old you say these cottages were?
How old that's the city?
Cottages were.
I would say 100 years old.
Yeah. And they're taking care of them quite well.
Yeah.
And they're very close and small, right?
Yeah.
There was no vehicle traffic, and this was what struck me, the complete absence and the total silence of moving automobiles or trucks. There were
Bicycles.
All bicycles, yeah. There were some civilians about, and they're all walking or riding bicycles, as we could hear the clanking of their heavy shoes made on the pavement. What do you mean by heavy shoes?
Heavy shoes.
You said they're heavy shoes.
Well, they were leather shoes.
Okay. There were no front yards. I mean, these cottages were right on the street?
The what?
There's no front yards, you say. So these cottages were right on the street?
Oh, yeah.
There were no front yards, and the front entrances to the cottages were directly off the narrow streets. So then let me just understand this. The narrow streets weren't built for cars, because cars weren't...
They were built for horses.
They weren't invented yet. And so you had a tough time getting your army equipment through. There were no front yards, as the front entrances to the cottages were directly on narrow streets. There were at steps and stoop and were in their own little dwelling. I thought it very strange that people would adjust to this type of environment, but I was soon to learn that there are many more diverse environments than this peaceful little town offered. We reached the mess hall and entered its warm, sweet-smelling, well-lighted domain. We were served by the same Negro detachment, and we soon learned that they were permanent cadre here. How lucky they were. For breakfast were flapjacks, hot syrup, fried eggs and potatoes, and plenty of hot coffee. It was only a bright spot in our immediate, it was the only bright spot in our immediate future. We appreciated it all the more. So that was a really good breakfast.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't you tell me one time in the readings at one sitting, you ate 27 flapjacks?
Say what?
Did you tell me one time a few years ago that at one time you sat and ate 27 pancakes?
No, that was misconception.
That was embellishments.
Yeah, yeah.
Just as part of the story. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Just a quick trip about this Edmund B. Alexander, honey. It was originally in 1905 it was built.
Okay, we got a note here on the troop ship that you came on. Let me read the note.
It was originally.
The vessel was originally built for the Hamburg or Mercury line. It was operated in the North Atlantic and to the outbreak of World War I. She was interned at Boston in August 1914. This is interesting. This is a ship that you were on.
Yeah.
And seized in April 1917 as the converted ship, exactly like you said, as a converted ship America. She carried thousands of troops from France during World War I. Following World War I, she was laid up for several years, being reconditioned in 1923 and 24 by the U.S. Shipping Board. She entered the transatlantic passenger trade under the house flag of the United States. After several years of operation, she was laid up at the Solomon Islands, Maryland. Wow. In October 1940, here's where you're coming in. In October 1940, she was made ready for use by the Army as a floating barracks for 1,200 troops in Newfoundland, with permanent shore quarters were constructed. At this time, she was renamed the Edmund B. Alexander.
Edmund T. Alexander.
Yeah. After extensive repairs in the United States from 1941 to 43, include reboiling from a coal burner to oil. Oh, this is kind of what you did
To the house.
on houses in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
In 1941 and 43, they converted their coal burning ship
Pico,
to
yeah.
oil.
Yeah.
But you did that with houses in Niagara
Yeah.
Falls. You converted the coal to oil in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
What
And
a
then gas.
wow. Yeah, then gas, but right now we're not that far. She was used as a troop transport throughout World War II.
And that's how many they carried with John on the way
The
over.
passenger amount was 5,159. And listen, in March of 1946, she was converted to carry 904 adult and 314 children, military dependents. But let me just see, hold on. It was actually built in 1905 and had a very interesting life. Its length was 687 feet, propelled by 2 engines. Top speed was 17 knots. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, yeah.
The draft was 33 feet.
The whole water, yeah.
Total tons were 21,329. Wow.
Pounds, yeah.
Let me just go
This
down
is a hell of a find.
Go down a little bit further. That's what he'll remember.
Mr. Jeckovich, take a look at this picture and see if you got, identify it.
Yeah, that's the boat. Yeah,
That's it.
You'll
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to show it to everybody else.
You see all the different lives it had?
Yeah, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you see all the different lives it had?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So you'd sleep there
A
outside?
little smoke coming out of that thing, yeah.
So you were in Niagara Falls before you were drafted, and you were converted houses that were on coal to oil.
Oil, then gas, yeah.
Yeah, well, gas was much later, but simultaneously, the ship that ended up to be your troop ship, they were doing this from coal to oil like you were with houses.
Yeah.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
How roads always seem to cross.
But 5,000 on a small boat like that was a lot back then.
Yeah. All right, let's see here.
What was that?
15 minutes,
5,000 that carried troops.
5,100.
5,000, 5,100. We reached the mess hall and entered its, how many minutes?
13.
How many minutes?
13.
We reached the mess hall and entered its warm, sweet-smelling, well-lighted domain. We were served by the Negro detachment, and we soon learned that they were permanent cadre here. How lucky they were. For breakfast, we had flapjacks, hot syrups, fried eggs, and potatoes, and plenty of hot coffee. Is that your favorite breakfast today?
No.
What's your favorite breakfast?
Oatmeal, brown sugar.
What's that?
Oatmeal and brown sugar.
So you're not even interested in pancakes
No,
anymore?
no.
You're not interested in fried eggs?
No, not interested in coffee either.
When's the last time you drank coffee?
Oh, number of years.
You used to drink it regularly. What happened? Tell me.
Right.
You used to drink coffee on a regular basis. You don't now. What changed? What changed? What made you stop drinking coffee?
What?
What made you stop drinking coffee?
Well, I used to drink a coffee with my mother, go downstairs in the morning at breakfast, knock on her door, and I sit with her for breakfast. That's the only time I had coffee.
But right now you don't have any interest.
No,
Yeah. Didn't your wife drink a lot of coffee?
no.
No? Okay. After breakfast, we ushered into a smaller room and were finally briefed in our situation. We would be in Haverford West for no longer than 6 weeks, and that's when you met Gene Rowan Young, right?
Yeah,
And probably less than 4 weeks. It would be here that we would acquire our personal weapons, we would acquire our personal reference and our crew weapon. We would also be issued supplemental clothing provisions. Did you ever get that heavy clothing?
yeah. After a while, yeah. They
But
went.
not right in Haverford.
They went to the people in front ahead of us.
Yeah. And what we attain here would be finally what we go into battle with. So this was this is the last stop before the front line.
Yeah,
What you get here is what you go with. It became imperative to everyone to make every item issued to us to be a part of our very being, as our lives literally depended on the effectiveness and competency. We're also informed that the showers would be available, that they would be serviced away from our main billet. and also the present mat ticks. What's mat ticks?
Mastic.
Mat ticks.
Mastic.
Mat ticks. Are they like sleeping bags or something?
Mattresses.
Okay, but you said mat ticks. Why would you call them mat
The
ticks?
sleeping bags.
Okay. Would be disregarded and new mattresses would be issued, which was all good news. So now you're gonna get new mattresses. And in conjunction with the billets themselves, individual fireplaces in each room would become serviceable and be supplied with a quality of soft coal.
9 minutes.
That's not bad. This is getting interesting here. There would also be initiated a fire watch during the time to avoid any fires or flare-ups in the old wooden buildings. So you're staring at wooden buildings, and then you have fireplaces warming the places, and then you had to have a team for fire watch.
Yeah.
Was there ever a fire?
No.
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 Were you on fire watch?
Yeah, the 2-hour duty.
Okay. During our short time here, we'd also commence training schedule, including PT, refresher courses, training films, several cross-country hikes. Were they cross-country hikes?
25 mile.
But were they very, was it great, beautiful scenery it must have been?
Yeah, there was a lot of hills, a lot of hills.
Yeah. Was there always snow?
No snow there, no.
And then let me ask you, did you see a lot of wildlife?
No. They were all in the back of the woods.
Were you walking in the woods or on roads?
On a road. But
Gravel?
the roads were narrow.
Cobblestone roads?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see. Also, there'd be posted daily a duty roster. Nothing had changed. The Army was still the Army, no matter where you were stationed. Our last item was reported. The remainder of the day would be devoted to personal hygiene, individual showers, change of clothing, policy in immediate area, and living quarters. We would also march down the mess hall 3 times a day. How long of a march would it be to the mess hall?
It would be about a 20-minute march. Downhill.
And did you see many civilians at that
Oh,
time?
they're out there. They were out there scrubbing the front sets.
Did you see many kids?
The kids were in school by
How
then.
about any males, military age males?
No.
No, mostly just females, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We would march down to the mess hall 3 times a day in military fashion and maintain military discipline at all times. Traffic control would be sustained as the company marched to Chow. As we marched back from Chow and our briefing, we all felt better and came to the conclusion in this combat duty we would not be as tough as we thought.
Yeah, he's not doing any combat.
Yeah. How little did we know or realize. So at this time in Wales, before shit hit the fan, you thought this might not be too bad.
Yeah.
Little did you know.
Well, we didn't know, yeah.
How you're a teenager, they know everything, right? How you're a teenager, they're geniuses. Wales is bounded in the north by the west by the Irish Sea, and in the south by the Bristol Channel. It has a length of approximately 136 miles, a breadth of 112 miles, and is 600 feet above sea level. That's quite a bit above sea level.
Yeah.
A lot better than Florida.
Yeah.
It's a region of heavy rainfall in areas above 1,000 feet. It can average about 60 inches of rainfall annually. That's a lot.
Yeah.
5 feet
Well,
of
it was
rain.
a farm country. They needed
I guess
it.
they needed it, right? Wales lies on the warmer western side of Britain, and the valleys of the west coast are sheltered from the cold east. That's cool. As a consequence, they enjoy an extremely mild climate. That sounds like a nice place to vacation.
Yeah.
Mild climate, yeah. Beautiful scenery. The combination of the climate and environment affords its mixture of agricultural, coal mining, and prestigious slate industry. What, did you see the slate industry there?
Slate?
Slate. S-L-A-T-E. Did you see slate?
Well, they get it out of the ground.
Did you see that going on when you were there?
Yeah, it probably went down 2 or 3 feet, and you get the slate.
I wonder how far they have to go down now.
Huh?
I wonder how far they have to go down now,
I don't know.
after 80 years. I wonder if there's still the slate capital of the world. That'd be interesting to know.
Well, they've got the stuff in the ground to make slate, yeah.
Yeah. Its ethnic composition and language is mixed in origin, with a steady decline in the Welsh language and a premium placed on the English language. That's nice. It is mainly Methodist in its religion, and with a great increase in Baptist and Independents. The Anglican Church remains the dominant and largest denomination with the largest number. Sergeant Rupert informed us as we broke formation, arriving to our billets, that the remainder of the morning would be utilizing and policing the platoon area. That is GIing it. What's GIing it?
Well, the floor in the houses were floor.
So GIing
It had to get pails and hot water and soap and throw it on the floor, and the rest of the broom, and it would scrub the floor down.
So that's what GI means.
Yeah.
Our GIing our little living quarters from top to bottom. We piled up the old, dilapidated, smelly tick mattresses outside for a garbage detail to pick them up, and proceeded to scrub down our sleeping area, as ordered, from top to bottom. Lape helped, but I could see,
2.5.
Lape helped, but I could see that he was not accustomed to doing this type of work.
No.
Yeah. Fink and I and the rest of the squad did the brunt of the cleaning, and in a short time, the place looked and smelled a lot better than we first arrived. So that was pretty interesting.
Well, that place, the building was closed down.
And so you guys had to whip it into shape.
Yeah.
But Donald Lape, one of your best friends during the war, he just wasn't accustomed.
No.
He just didn't have it in him, right? He just didn't know.
He was a mama's boy.
Oh, okay. And then, but all the rest of the guys were kind of like you, street smart, tough, got a lot of chores as kids.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing for you guys to whip that closed down building.
Yeah.
Just give me an idea what it takes to clean a building like that. Give me an idea.
To do what?
To clean that building, to GI the building.
Well, yeah, start from up in the rafters all the way down. The rafters are full of dust. Window sills are all full of dust. And start up it from the top and go all the way down.
And how'd you scrub the floors?
With a broom and a pail of hot water and soap.
How'd you do the windows?
Windows, we use, we didn't have grass cleaner. We used probably water and ammonia or something to take the film off the glass.
So was that a big job to do all that?
Oh yeah, but this building was empty.
Did you use anything to disinfect the building? Or
No,
was it
what we were doing, we were cleaning everything. We
Soap
were
and water.
GIing the whole thing from the roof, rafters down to the floor.
Did you use any type of material like Clorox or a bleach?
Ammonia?
Bleach?
Ammonia?
Yeah, I think they used ammonia more.
So that was a big job.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
Well, we were on it for about a week.
Wow.
But you're talking about 7 guys in a room doing a lot of work. That's a lot of, they could do a lot of work.
20 seconds.
Wow. And how was it when you're done? Tell us how it's the finished product.
One way.
What did it look like when you're done?
Well, it smelled better. It looked better. It looked clean.
And you had
Well,
to-
the building was empty.
You had new
close it
mat-
up,
you had
yeah.
new mattress